We do not rise to the strength of our goals, but fall to the level of our standards. A lot of times, our heart is in the right place, and we set this goal of, I'm gonna go to the gym 5 days a week, which is great because the more you hit that goal, the more your results will come and the quicker they tend to come, right? Because you're working out more, which also likely means you're eating better more often because working out has a very unique cascading effect that way. But what happens when inevitably life gets in the way and you don't make it to the gym 5 days, especially in the beginning? It's really hard to hit that goal when you're not used to carving that time out of your day, when you don't have a lot of positive reinforcement of the gym is going to make me feel better. I had a bad day, I had a stressful day, the gym's going to help with that. We don't have that positive reinforcement in the beginning, so it's even harder to hit that goal of 5 days a week in the beginning. What happens on those weeks if we only have the goal of 5 days? Meaning, what happens when our only metric of success is if I hit the gym 5 days? What tends to happen when we miss a day or 2 or 3 or more is we go, screw it. I'm missing the mark. And so I'm going to eat like crap. I'm going to not stick to my eating plan. Whereas when we have standards, we establish a floor, right? Because you can think of your goal of 5 days a week as the ceiling, and without a floor, like what does the ceiling have to stand on? What does the building have to stand on? If it doesn't have a foundation, right? That building will easily crumble. An example of a standard here is I don't go to the gym any less than 2 days a week. That's my minimum non-negotiable, just as an example. And so what tends to happen is when life gets in the way and we don't hit our goal of 5 days a week, we still have our standard that we can fall to. And this may seem like I'm splitting hairs. This may seem like it doesn't matter, but I promise you it does, because here's what happens psychologically. When you only have the goal of 5 days a week and you don't hit that, let's say you still go to the gym 3 days, which is a very successful week. I've seen many people completely transform their health going to the gym 3 days a week. Obviously, they're also adjusting their nutrition and doing those other things, but they're going to the gym 3 days a week. Well, when you only have the goal of 5 days, you can't really psychologically feel good about that week because you didn't hit your goal of 5 days. The interesting thing is, if I were to come to you and say, man, I didn't hit my goal of 5 days, but I only went 3 days, you would probably tell me, hey, 3 days, 3 days is great, good job. The interesting thing is, we tend to not say that same thing to ourselves. Dang it, I only went 3 days. I feel bad about myself. It's kind of an interesting side note. So when we have the standards and we have our floor, then the conversation becomes, yeah, I didn't hit my goal of 5 days, but I at least hit my standard of 2. I didn't go below that, because that is still a promise that you make to yourself. And that is the key to consistency and building confidence long-term, is keeping the promises you make to yourselves, both big and small, right? And so you can apply this to any goal in life. Set the goal, fine. I'm not going to stop you from setting goals, but then set a standard, because then the idea is we raise our standards, right? So for me, in the beginning, I couldn't tell you exactly what the number is, but let's say my goal was 3 days a week, right, of working out. Well, now I've come to the point where I move every day. Sometimes that truly is only 10 minutes, but most of the time it's more than that, because I have raised my standards over time. What started out as 3 days a week, then went to 4 days a week, then went to 6 days a week or 5, and I would kind of volley between 4 to 6 days. And then, I would take the weekends off because I thought you're supposed to take rest days, right? And then I would wake up on Mondays feeling stiff. Then I got tired of feeling stiff on Mondays, and so I started stretching on the weekends. Sometimes it was one day in the weekend, other times it was both days. It just depends. And then the more times I would do that, back to the positive reinforcement of feeling better on Mondays, then that led me to sticking to it more. And then things really were cemented with me in 2022 when I did 10 minutes of intentional movement every day. And I got the positive reinforcement of that. It didn't transform my fitness, but it transformed my discipline. It showed me that no matter what's working against me, I'm busy, I'm tired, I'm unmotivated, I'm sick, I'm hurt, whatever, I can still do 10 minutes. And now that's my standard. So hopefully that helps. Set your goals, but also set your standards. And over time, you raise your standards because we rarely rise to the strength of our goals. We always fall to the level of our standards. Have a great day.